Hi Srividya, welcome to GHRC Know Your Member Talk Show. So, guys, we have Srividya Nagaraju, and can you start by telling a bit about yourself and your professional journey towards learning and development?
Sure. Thanks, Ritika, for inviting me to this talk show. It's my honor. Yes, my journey, I didn't start like everyone else in L&D only, learning and development. I was in the financial operation for quite a few years. And in between, because of certain need in the organization, certain opportunities, exposure, where I realized my true passion lies in people development. So that is where my journey of I had to actually transition over the years from a hardcore operations to learning and development. And currently, yes, I work as a solopreneur. I'm into training, more focus on leadership, uh, or training, mentoring, coaching, counseling, whichever is the required, anything to do with people development.
Okay, that's great. So, what keeps you passionate about this field?
I think one is two things keeps me going in this. Number one is when you are teaching someone, you learn the best, right? So that's what keeps me going. One is I'm able to learn every day, every moment. Second, when you're able to bring a change in the audience, when they come back and tell me this is the impact it had on me, I'm able to bring in this change, or I'm able to grow, then you can bring that impact in people. Oh, that satisfaction is what keeps me going.
Definitely. And what is your unique approach towards this?
Yes, I know there are so many professionals in learning and development, standard programs, etc. Then I was wondering, what is that I can do something very differently? So this goes back to my upbringing, where I have a little background of philosophy, especially Indian philosophy. So I grew with that environment. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring the learnings from our own Indian scriptures history and connect that to today's in the form of very framework, whatever you call templates, framework, and the learning which is relevant to today. So ours, you even if people say, oh, what Purana you talk, so Purana means Pura Api Nava Iti Purana. That means even if it is old, it is evergreen, it is always applicable, right? So that's why I kind of curate programs based on our scriptures, again, best from the east and the west. I combine both. So what difference does it make for audience? They're able to connect at emotional level because they've heard the stories as we grew up about some of our own scripture stories. At the same time, intellectually also they can connect because it is in the form of frameworks and module learning module, not just a story. So this has been my unique approach.
Can you help or elaborate a little bit more about the modules that you were talking?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll give you two or three examples. While I do a lot of it, sometimes I bring in just in between the references of a couple of things like Subhashita. We say quote, the positive quotes. In Sanskrit, there are numerous. So I did a series in my social media of posting connected to management, leadership, Subhashita every Monday. There are 100 plus I've done as a series. Just a quick learning, quick reminder learnings. Another one, I have created a leadership module called 7-Star Leadership, which is bringing leadership lessons from our Saptarishis. They're the stars in the sky. You would have heard those stars, or Big Dipper, Saptarishi Mandala, they call it. So, what are those stories of their life? What made them to become a star in the sky? While there are so many rishis, that's why it's called 7-Star Leadership. Interestingly, we have also an Arundhati, who's a women leader, also there. So today's we call about diversity inclusion. So it's beautiful. Narrate the story, bring the lessons, and then put it to a tool, simple tool to apply in our day-to-day life.
That's nice. You can actually share the article of 7-Star Rishi for our platform. We can post it.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah, please do that. And then, what are some of the key trends or changes that you have observed and yeah, observed over years?
Yeah. See, earlier it was very easy before COVID, if I can call it, was just completely a classroom, number one, face to face, right? So from face to face, we had to move to virtual. Now it's a hybrid, even more challenging. So, like last week, I did a session for one of my client where they were in groups of people coming on virtual from different cities, and there were people physically sitting in one city. So that itself is, but how agile are we to adapt to all these changes? As learning and development professionals, that's very important. We bring in that. Number two, disruptive is AI. Correct. So AI is I mean, many trainers today go through the AI and generate the content and deliver it. It's easy. Content is very easily available. Today, it's not at all difficult. You ask Chat GPT to create the entire module and give you. But what is our, as learning and development professionals, how do you actually deliver it? Right? Knowledge is not an issue today. Knowing is not an issue, but doing is an issue. The how part is an issue. So our focus should be on more of how part and leverage these technologies. There's nothing wrong. Leverage that, but focus more on how audience can implement it. What is that value addition we can give? Leveraging the technology and the flexibility of bringing both. This is what I see a current new trend.
Can you give a tip on leveraging the technology? One small one.
Um, well, how I use, let me tell you. One of the biggest advantage for me is, we have our thoughts, but the thoughts putting into a proper sentences sometimes and to a framework, that's where it's very helpful. So I type my thoughts, raw thoughts, and then ChatGPT helps me to beautify it, fine tune it. That saves time for me. But thoughts are mine, but it saves time. Yeah, we all have to leverage the technology.
And can you share an advice for aspiring all the learning and development professionals looking to make a significant impact in their career?
Yes, this is definitely a very what do you call? Sometimes it's very attractive, glamorous because you're always in front of people and you get that. But it's more than that. It is highly responsible role because people look up to you for everything. Whatever you do, use whether they like it or not, knowingly, unknowingly, we become a role model for the audience. So it's a highly responsible role. One is the knowledge you impact, you have to continuously learn. All that is fine. Because I see some people, because of their great oratory skills, they want to become trainers. So trainers need oratory skill is one part, but they need a lot more than that. Being that authentic to yourself, a lot more responsibility. Just be aware that audience are always looking up to you for everything.
And as a leader in learning and development, what strategies do you find most effective for fostering a positive and diverse workplace culture?
When you talk about this diversity, that's where I bring in diversity learning from different sources. Okay, then standard, there are models, frameworks, more come from the West. They are extremely good. But at the same time, if we can tap into a lot of other, our own Indian sources or other different methodologies like bringing theater, bringing story, the diverse methodologies to learning, that will be helpful and lot more of uh, easy implementation and should be more experiential than the knowledge. How do I bridge that from knowing to doing, and how do I help leaders to introspect and adopt the new way of working? That is what is most important.
So here I am done with my question. Is there anything else that I would have missed out on asking and you would want to talk about it?
I think you've asked all the important questions, anything audience want to know. As I said, we should explore. This is a beautiful industry. There's so much to explore, learn, and bring in the change with a lot of responsibility. So bringing
Right.
multiple perspective, like I bring in, emotional quotient, spiritual quotient, intellectual quotient, learning, combine everything and make it the holistic.
Okay. So yeah, that's it from my end, Srividya. Thank you for your valuable insights. Thanks for being here with us today.
My pleasure, Ritika. Thanks to you and the GHRC platform.
Thank you.